the spectator's delusion. The most dangerous deception, the one that tears apart entire civilizations and fractures the souls of men, is the delusion of the spectator. It is not the tyrant, nor the corrupt politician, nor even the soldier who kills that poses the greatest threat. It is the weak, cowardly belief in moral certainty. The belief that people can stand on the sidelines and define right and wrong, that they can judge and condemn or elevate and celebrate others based on their limited understanding of the world. They hold tightly to their ethical imperatives, rallying behind causes they believe to be righteous, clinging to leaders who promise them salvation. This is the lie that shatters nations, the lie that allows good men to become killers and killers to be called good men. We are told from the moment we are old enough to understand that killing is wrong. Society punishes it, condemns it, casts it as the most heinous of sins. But that same society also sanctifies killing when done in service to the state. It draws its lines carefully, separating murder from duty, criminal from soldier. Over thousands of years, we have built entire systems, governments, militaries, and legal codes around legitimizing this distinction. We place the power to decide who lives and who dies in the hands of leaders, commanders, and policymakers, trusting them to wield it responsibly. But those who pull the trigger, those who wield the knife, those who see the blood and feel the weight of life slipping away beneath their hands, they are often far removed from the decisions that set them in motion. I was a soldier. I killed many men in Afghanistan. I took their lives without hesitation, without regret, and without remorse. I do not apologize for what I have done. I do not ask for forgiveness for the act of killing. I am a killer, and I do not carry the burden of shame for that fact. I carry no guilt for having been the instrument of death. For that is what war demanded of me, and I was good at what I did. I killed because that was my role, because that was the mission, because in that place, in that moment, it was what I was meant to do. The only remorse I feel is the remorse that every human being should carry, the remorse for being imperfect, for falling short of what we aspire to be. I feel the weight of my humanity, of my flaws, of my inability to be anything more than what I am. I do not seek forgiveness for killing. I seek forgiveness for being human, for failing in the ways humans fail, for making mistakes and being unable to know with certainty what is right or wrong. I ask for forgiveness not because I regret my actions, but because I live in a world where morality is fluid, where the distinctions we make between good and evil are blurred beyond recognition. I know not what right or wrong truly is, and perhaps no one does. I remember the men I killed. I remember their faces, the fear in their eyes, the way their bodies crumpled when the bullets tore through them. I remember the blood soaking into the sand, the distant screams, the silence that followed. I watched them die, and I felt nothing but the cold, mechanical focus of a soldier doing his job. There was no time for reflection, no space for doubt. I did what had to be done. The remorse that others expect me to feel, the guilt they believe should haunt me, is absent, because in the truth of war there is no room for regret. There is only the mission, the task at hand, and survival. But I have seen the other side of death as well. I have rolled my brothers onto their backs, their faces pointed toward the sun, and watched the life drain from their eyes. I have seen the moment when their pupils constrict in the desert's unforgiving glare, and the moment when they relax as if surrendering to something greater. Their eyes do not close. They remain open, fixed on the sky as if searching for answers they will never find. I have touched the lifeless bodies of men I laughed with, fought alongside, and called my brothers. I have felt the warmth leave their skin and known in that moment that they were gone. 48 Americans died before my eyes. I knew them. I knew their voices, their dreams, their fears. I watched them die, and I could do nothing to save them. Their deaths haunt me, not because I feel responsible, but because I understand that their lives were lost in a game played by leaders who never saw the battlefield. The men who sent us to fight, who gave us our orders, who declared our enemies, they never saw the blood, never felt the weight of a dying man in their arms. They sat in their offices, made their decisions, and moved on, while we were left to carry the burden of their choices. The spectator's delusion is what allows this to continue. The average person with their limited experience and their hunger for comfort and simplicity, believes that there is a clear distinction between good and evil. They believe that the leaders they follow are wise and just, that the wars they support are necessary and righteous. They forget that those leaders are human, just like the rest of us. They are flawed, imperfect, and driven by their own self-interest. They lie, they manipulate, and they deceive, all while maintaining the illusion of moral superiority, and the people follow them blindly. They rally behind causes, attach themselves to symbols, and lash out at those who do not share their beliefs. They believe that their enemies are evil, that their leaders are good, and that their cause is just. But they are wrong. The leaders on both sides, the soldiers in the trenches, and the civilians who cheer them on are all the same. We are all human. We are all flawed. And we are all trapped in the same cycle of violence, searching for meaning in a world that offers none. I do not regret what I have done. I do not feel shame for being a killer, nor do I feel guilt for the lives I have taken. I feel only the remorse of a man who knows he is not perfect, who understands that his actions were part of a greater machine that it did not control. I seek forgiveness not from the men I killed, but from something greater, something beyond this world. I seek forgiveness for everything I do, because I do not know what is right or wrong. I do not know if the killing was justified, if the war was just, or if the lives lost on both sides meant anything at all. But I do know this, the pain we feel, the void we try to fill, will never be healed by war, by killing, or by following leaders who promise answers they cannot provide. The truth is that there are no easy answers, no moral absolutes. There is only the flawed, imperfect humanity that we all share. And until we accept that, until we stop searching for salvation in the destruction of others, we will remain trapped in this endless cycle of violence and suffering.